Hi everyone, this is Jane. I'm Emily. We're from Driven Driving School and we are instructor trainers. We're here to help you with your Part 3, your standards check, or even if you just want to develop your skills further as an ADI. So today we are going to be talking about the 4 stages of risk management. We have made a handout for this. If you would like to request it in the comments, please do. We will need your email address, so you might want to PM us. So the 4 stages of risk management, this is really just a kind of strategy for you to use on the move. What we're trying to avoid and prevent is people getting into situations with their learners, into safety critical or even potential safety critical situations, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
So what we try to prevent in an ideal world is potential safety critical incidents. Yes. What we really don't want is safety critical incidents to occur.
Yeah.
So we know that potential safety critical incidents do happen quite regularly, unfortunately, but we can minimise those by using this strategy that we've got here today. So, Jane, do you want to explain the strategy a little bit?
Well, today I had some PDIs in the car and I was acting as a pupil, and it is very common, this is not a reflection on them at all, but I deliberately accelerated and got close to the vehicle in front of me on the dual carriageway, and nothing happened. So the car in front of me didn't brake severely, the gap remained quite small for a bit, but I did ask my PDI, how do you think my gap is? And they were like, oh, you're a bit close. So they immediately went into oh, what do you think about your gap? Now at that point I was within the safety 2-second gap. So we all know what 2-second gap is. Make sure you count it properly.
So you were closer. You were.
I was
1 second away,
1.5 seconds away. Not
tailgating.
Yeah, I wasn't tailgating because obviously we have to keep the vehicle safe. But you get the idea. So when should they have stepped in there?
Well, they should have instantly stepped in as soon as they've recognising that you're getting too close. They should be telling you to hold back, because you're now in a potential safety critical situation. If that car in front brakes for any reason, then there's a high chance that you're going to go into the back of that car in front. So rather than asking your pupil, oh, what do you think about your following distance? And they're going, too late. Yes, too late. So tell them.
Yes. So you've got your traffic light system, which we've talked about before. You've got your green zone. So the green zone is anything up to and including maybe a 3-second gap behind the vehicle, because that would be the time to maybe question, how do you feel about this? There is still time for the pupil to remedy it before you go into the amber, so red, amber and green zone. So you're in the green, you have chance to ask that quick question, and as soon as they tip into the amber zone, which is when they are borderline on the 2-second gap, what would they need to do?
Well, then you'd be prompting them still in the green zone, really, wouldn't you? So you'd be then telling them, you know, you're too close behind that vehicle, check your mirror, off the gas, we're going to hold back.
Yeah, and that keeps them out of that 2-second zone, so they're still outside that, so there's not safety critical. We prevented that from becoming potentially safety critical. If they have reached the safety critical stage, which I had done really, what would you do?
Well, you use your dual controls. You've got to use physical intervention at that point. You need to slow them down. Obviously, you need to be aware of what's happening behind you all the time. So when you do need to use your dual controls, you know what effect you're having on other road users, and you're being careful to manage that risk with that.
And then you would just say, I've used my duals there because you were too close to the vehicle, but you step in first and then you talk it through the pupil. You say, that's why I've done that, and we can stop and talk about that gap maybe. Chance to reflect.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, we might think about it in terms of a cyclist far ahead. So when you see that cyclist far ahead, you're in the green zone. So that first stage, watch your pupil. What are you watching your pupil for, Jane?
You're making sure that they've acknowledged non-verbally that bike. So that would be a mirror check, maybe coming off the gas a little bit. thinking about looking where they're looking ahead and anticipating any other road users coming towards them.
So if you're kind of noticing that your pupil isn't acknowledging the cyclist ahead and isn't making any attempt to look like they're going to deal with that cyclist, what would you do next?
Well, in the green zone still, we're still far enough back, I would point out what can you see that is what obstacles can you see ahead. Maybe focus it, can you see the bicycle ahead? So really making it obvious so they don't have to question what am I looking for. So really say, have you seen the bicycle? How might you want to deal with that? What are you going to do?
What's your plan exactly? What if they don't know how to answer that? If they go, oh, I don't know, or
well, if you're still in the green zone, you could say you're going to need to slow down because you've got. But if they're in the amber zone, which they probably are approaching at this point,
this is stage 3.
This would be your direct command. So you would start to just take control. You will need to slow down. There are cars coming towards us. Check your main mirror, come off the gas. Okay, and you might even need to get them to change into an appropriate gear.
So what if they're not reacting to your direct command, your verbal intervention, and you're getting closer now to this cyclist? You're entering that red zone where if you don't do something else, something's bad's going to happen.
And what would you do?
Well, I'd use my brakes.
Yes.
So stage 4, physical intervention. Okay.
Yes. What is it? I think it's ask for forgiveness afterwards or something. Just
that's it. Take action.
Just take action and ask forgiveness later. So just, as Em said, use your brakes. Maybe change the gear for them. Maybe even use your other jewels, which are steering wheel and stuff like that as well. Might need to do that.
But hopefully it hasn't reached that stage 4 physical intervention. Hopefully you've nipped it in the bud by being really proactive and getting your pupil to look far ahead and getting the prompts in early if necessary. If a hazard suddenly appears in front of you, you might have to step from stage 1 straight to stage 4. So you might be watching, and then you might just have to physically intervene. If you've got something that happens unexpectedly, then skip the prompt and the direct command. You might have to jump straight to another stage.
So if you're thinking about it in terms of zones, green, amber, red, if you have ultimately faced the red zone, don't ask questions, just get on with it. If you're in the amber zone, you might risk a prompt, you need to slow down, or a direct command and say you're going to need to slow down, give them the opportunity. But straight if you're in a red zone, straight to the jewels. Stepping in.
I think that just about wraps it up. One way that I try to think about things, if you're starting to feel uncomfortable about a situation, if you can feel your bum cheeks starting to clench, you really need to be stepping in at that stage. Whether it's a prompt, mostly a direct command, or physical intervention if your bum cheeks are clenching.
I think if you got to that bum
that's okay, we need to do
definitely a stepping in with the jewels. Okay,
thanks very much for watching, and like and comment, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, bye.